When you're planning to become a first-time homeowner, or maybe you already are one, there are so many how-tos and guides on what to do to save up a down payment and how you actually buy a house. But what's next? For a moment, you may feel a slight relief until you realize that there are a lot more overwhelming lessons to learn. In fact, there are so many lessons that I couldn't possibly come up with a list all on my own. So I asked more experienced homeowners to share their aha moment when they realized maybe I'm in over my head. To say there were a lot of responses is an understatement. As I was scrolling through these replies, I realized to myself, oh no, I need to do a lot of this stuff. Because even after 1 year of homeownership and many days chock full of researching homeownership, I still put things off because they cost time and money. So I realized right away that I needed to make a list, and here are some of the items I have on mine. Replace the furnace filters, test your smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detector, clean out your washer's inlet filters and check for any leaks, inspect caulking around sinks, tubs, and showers, pressure wash or clean the exterior, and many more. From there, I put a reminder in my phone every single time I complete one of these tasks so that it comes back to me in 6 months to a year. Why? Because I don't know about you, but I have a really hard time juggling all of these things I'm supposed to do, let alone things that you're supposed to do in your home. I ranked everything that was on my list and put it into a priority matrix. The considerations are the length of time it takes to complete the project, the overall importance of a task, whether or not I need to hire a professional, and the cost that it will take and the materials that it will take to complete this task. After doing that, the top 3 items on my list were cleaning out my gutters, changing my furnace filter, and changing or resetting the smoke alarm in my basement. Because I'm a first-time homeowner, there's a few things on this list that I have never attempted before, so I thought it would be fun to take you guys along with me to see how easy it really is to do some do-it-yourself at-home maintenance tasks. But before we get into that, I'll share with you 5 questions that I ask myself before attempting any home maintenance by myself. 1, do you have the skill set to accomplish this task? 2, do you have enough time to complete this task? 3, do you have the appropriate tools on hand? 4, is it safe for you to do this job on your own? And 5, are you really going to save money doing it yourself? Although a lot of those questions are answered when you put them into a spreadsheet that prioritizes things, it's also really nice to do that check-in, especially asking yourself, is it safe for me to do this? Because a lot of home maintenance tasks can be really dangerous. So the first thing we did was clean the gutters. I found it appropriate for myself and my husband to tackle this job together. The materials we need for this job were a ladder, gloves, a partner, which we had each other, to support the working conditions of being up high and outdoors, and also our compost bin so that we could throw everything in the gutters in there. My husband actually volunteered to be the ladder climber, so he cleaned out all of the gunk and debris by hand. Once we had that cleaned, what we did was wash out the spouts with our hose. And lastly, we did a check on our downspouts to make sure that there were no clogs that may cause a backup. This was actually an easier task in comparison to most home maintenance responsibilities. The second thing we wanted to do was check or change our smoke alarm in our basement. It actually needed to be reset a month ago, but we want to make sure that we're doing our due diligence, that we're completely covered if anything were to happen. When we took it out, we realized that it was fairly old, so after doing some research, we decided to reconnect it for now, but we're actually going to order a new one that's the same brand, just good to go for the next 5-10 years. This way we have peace of mind knowing that we have an up-to-date smoke alarm in part of the home that we don't actually regularly hang out in.
The last thing we wanted to do was change our furnace filter. First things first, we went down to see what type of filter we would need, where everything was, and what steps we should take next. Once we knew that, the first step is always turning off your furnace before you change the filter. Then we remove the old filter, which was very dirty, and finally replace with a new clean filter, which is actually surprisingly easy. I assumed this would be the hardest task, and I was honestly kind of scared to do it, but it ended up being the easiest one to accomplish, and I can't wait to continue to do this.
Ultimately, maintenance can be one of the most stressful parts of homeownership, but it's also the #1 way to protect your most expensive asset. Every preventative measure that you take can save you hundreds of dollars long term. So in other words, it's definitely worth the time you spend researching and the time you spend fixing. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you liked it, you can give it a thumbs up. And if you want to learn more about how to manage your first home, you can head to zolo.ca/news. Have a great week, and I'll see you next month. Bye!